There's a rule to life in the city. Mind your own business. Be on the 8:15 express bus. Get to the Kronos and Co-interview by 9:45. Land the job that would fix my life. But at 8:20, staring at the word cancelled on the transit app, the plane shattered. And in the silence it left behind, I heard a low, hydraulic hiss. It wasn't my bus. It was too quiet, too clean, too sleek and black. The windows were tinted in impenetrable dark, and it made almost no sound as it pulled up to the curb. The destination sign didn't list a route number. It simply read, "Downtown." It was the only bus there. The doors slid open with a whisper. No one got off. Inside, it was dim, and the air was cold. It smelled of ozone, like the charged atmosphere right after a lightning strike. Every instinct, every nerve ending, screamed at me to wait, to just stay put. But the clock was ticking. My future was ticking away with every second. So, I took a step, then another. The doors sealed behind me with a heavy thud, a sound like a vault locking shut for the night. The interior was lit by a soft, blue ambient light that seemed to absorb sound. The few other passengers sat perfectly still, their faces obscured by deep shadows or the hoods of their jackets. None of them looked up as I walked down the aisle. I found an empty seat near the back. My heart was a frantic drum against my ribs, a wild rhythm of anxiety. I tried to focus on my interview notes, clinging to the familiar corporate jargon, leveraging synergies, maximizing ROI, but the words swam on the page, blurring into meaningless shapes. The bus didn't follow the normal route. It didn't even try. It turned down an alley I'd never seen before, a narrow, forgotten canyon of crumbling brick wedged between towering, indifferent skyscrapers. The sunlight vanished completely. This isn't right. This isn't the way. The whisper was my own, barely audible even to me. The bus emerged from the alley into a part of the city that felt wrong. It was a place lost to time. The buildings were older, draped in perpetual shadows, adorned with flickering neon signs and languages I didn't recognize. The familiar city sounds, the traffic, the distant sirens, the chatter of crowds were gone. All that remained was a distant, low hum, a vibration I felt more in my bones than my ears. My phone? Of course. I checked the GPS, figure out where I was. I pulled it from my pocket. The screen was black, lifeless. I mashed the power button, held it down, but nothing happened. A cold dread, deeper and more profound than the fear of being late, began to pull in my stomach. I looked up, searching for any sign of normalcy, and my eyes landed on the passenger across the aisle, a man in a long dark coat. He was staring straight ahead, but in the reflection on the window next to him, I saw my own terrified face. And then I saw something else. I saw him smile. His voice was a dry rustle, like dead leaves skittering across pavement. He didn't even turn his head. First time, I jumped, startled. I just need to get to Kronos Tower. I stammered, my voice sounding small and pathetic. "Ah," he said, the sound drawn out. "You wanted the other bus. This one takes a different kind of passenger. It doesn't go where you want to go. It goes where you need to go." Before I could process his words, the bus made another impossible turn, and the world outside changed again. The shift was so violent it felt like physical whiplash. We drove from oppressive shadow into a place of vibrant, almost aggressive life. Sunlight streamed down, illuminating a bustling, colorful district I had never seen before, the Mill District. People were laughing in open-air cafes, and brilliant, massive murals covered the old brick walls. The energy was palpable. It was a place that felt alive. It was the complete opposite of the sterile corporate dream had been chasing so desperately. The bus slowed to a crawl, as if giving me a tour. Outside, I saw a cozy, independent bookstore with a simple help wanted sign taped to the window. A few doors down, I saw a tech startup called Synapse Labs. Its doors were wide open, revealing a bright, airy space filled with lush plants and people working together, sketching ideas on whiteboards. The passenger spoke again, his voice still a low rustle. It always shows you, right before the end of the line, a glimpse of the path not taken, the one you were too afraid to choose, the end of the line. I asked, my voice tight with fear, what happens there? For the first time, the passenger slowly turned his head to look at me. His eyes weren't menacing, they were calm, but held a deep, ancient knowledge. That, he said, depends entirely on you. Some get off, most just stay on. It's easier than choosing. The bus began to slow again, this time for good. Up ahead was the terminus, a simple weathered sign that read Mill District Terminus, but beyond it, the road just ended. It didn't stop in a cul-de-sac or merge with another street. It dissolved into a sheer, blinding white light, as if the world was unfinished beyond that point. I need to get off, I said, panic rising in my throat. The passenger simply looked at me. Do you? The choice was suddenly, terrifyingly clear. It was a choice between two unknowns. I could step off the bus into this strange vibrant district, a world of bookstores and startups I never knew existed. Or I could stay on this phantom bus and be taken to what? The blinding light, oblivion. A life of quiet, passive existence. Forever riding a bus to nowhere. The doors hissed open. The warm, real air from the outside, smelling of coffee and fresh bread, washed over me. It fought with the cold, sterile air of the bus. I looked down at my dead phone, then at my polished resume, the crisp paper now damp and limp with sweat. It was a ticket to a life I thought I wanted, on a bus that didn't exist anymore. With a final, shuddering breath, I took the step. I crossed the threshold. The moment my foot touched the pavement, the bus doors snapped shut with startling speed. I spun around. The bus was already pulling away, as silent as a ghost. It drove straight into the blinding white light at the end of the road, and simply vanished. I was left standing alone on a sunny street. Slowly, the normal sounds of the city faded back in the chirping of birds, the distant hum of traffic, the sound of laughter from a nearby cafe. My phone buzzed to life in my hand. The screen lit up with a flurry of missed call notifications from the Kronos recruiter. I swiped them away without a second thought. My eyes were fixed on the Synapse Labs sign across the street. My heart was still pounding, but not from fear anymore. It was pounding with possibility. I never went to that interview. I walked into that coffee shop, ordered an espresso, and asked the barista about the startup across the street. That conversation changed my life. But sometimes, late at night, when I'm walking home, I pass by that same bus stop, and I watch. I see other people, looking stressed, looking at their watches, their faces illuminated by their phones. And then I see it, a sleek, black bus with tinted windows pulls up. The doors hiss open. I see them hesitate on the curb, caught between their plan and this unexpected detour. And I want to scream at them, don't get on, choose your own path. But I never do, because I've learned that getting on the wrong bus isn't a punishment. It's a test, and the most important journey you will ever take is the one you choose to get off. Thanks for watching. If this story resonated with you, let me know in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more journeys into the unknown.